Good morning, councillors. My name is Robert Linterman. I'm the General Manager at ECA, or commonly known as the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Authority. Here today to present on the voluntary targeted rates process that operates within the council at the moment, and we would just like to take this opportunity to say thanks very much and congratulations for running a great program. Across New Zealand, voluntary targeted rates has insulated and heated well in excess of 25,000 homes. It is a great tool that homeowners can use to enable them to put insulation and or heating into their homes. It was interesting, the Prime Minister recently quoted that only 25% of homes in New Zealand have a mortgage, and so 75% of the market thus doesn't have a relationship with a financial institution. Enabling homeowners to access voluntary targeted rates enables them to get the cash where they may not have cash, maybe asset rich, cash poor, to be able to insulate and heat their homes. I note that locally heating is a dominant factor within the voluntary targeted rate process. Obviously you've got a clean air target for 2020 that you want to achieve, and this is a great mechanism to do it. There's some great numbers that have come through. I think there's over 6,000 people have taken advantage of either a heating or an insulation grant over the last 4 or 5 years. And in line with that also, we'd like to take the opportunity to publicly thank some of the executive of the council who have worked really hard to make this happen and achieve some great goals. And Liz, to your team, thanks. And especially to Paul and Mark Heaney, who unfortunately couldn't be here. But Mark's worked really hard to make this happen. In the early days it struggled a bit to get some traction, and now it's really going gangbusters. So from a central government's point of view, we appreciate your support in getting voluntary targeted rate working in this community. It does add huge value. You'll see in the submission there's a $5 return for every dollar invested in a house that's insulated. And that stops people walking in the front door of hospitals. In Gisborne, for example, we've insulated over 30% of the market up there. There's been a five-fold drop in the number of people walking in the front door of the hospital. So you can see the value to your community in doing this. Voluntary targeted rate is an important component of getting those houses insulated, and we congratulate you for running this scheme, and we look forward to your further participation. Happy to take some questions.
Thank you. Okay, questions. Mr. Mohi, did you have a question?
Yes, just in your submission you mentioned ratepayers and homeowners. Do you realise that there's particularly in the Māori community, a lot of them are renters, so therefore reading the submission they're sort of a group that's out on the limb a little bit?
The landlord can still have access to the voluntary targeted rate to insulate their home, so that takes care of that. The issue also is that our programs have previously covered the total market. The latest funding that we've got from government targets high health need, low income people. So voluntary target rate then provides access to people who can't get a government grant to be able to get their homes insulated.
Yeah, I think the point was that given that the owner of the house can, just doesn't mean to say that they do it. And just, is there any way of making more palatable for the person who owns the house is renting it than currently?
It's not part of our mandate.
Another way of putting that is, do you have any stats on that? Do you have any stats on how many people who own their homes uplift this loan and how many landlords uplift the loan?
Yeah, so we've insulated over 250,000 homes in the program in the last 5 years around the country. Of that, about 30% of those are tenanted properties.
Councillor Scott.
The statistics that we received recently from the District Health Board clearly showed a link with low socioeconomic and high admission to hospital over respiratory cases. Have you considered targeting any particular areas to try and get a more effective bang for the buck in terms of the health benefits?
Yes, so the new program does target high health need, low income people, specifically that. The government's contributed $100 million over 3 years specifically for that market. Previously, funding the $347 million that we've had previously targeted the whole community. the new funding targets that high health need, low income sector of the market.
Also, for our benefit, can you tell me how you work around that target, how you identify, is it particular areas of need or is it just purely on socio-economic? Do you target particular housing areas?
We're doing work with MSD, being careful, of course, of the Privacy Act, but we're using information with MSD to target those who meet the criteria specifically in writing to them. Does that answer your question, Councillor? Thank you.
Councillor Bevan.
One area of significant heat loss in New Zealand homes is the single glazed windows, which I suspect 99% of homes have. Have you had a look at any technologies behind improving that, like some sort of retrofit that will stop windows from leaking so much heat?
Under the government funding, there's obviously no mandate to do any work around double glazing and also wall insulation, which is another aspect of heat loss. However, EECA is currently working on a program where we're identifying the 10 most important things to do to the thermal envelope of your home, and that's part of our future program. So we will be identifying within the market the best things to do to your home, and that's going to be led by a marketing campaign around that. So the first 3 key things to do to your home is insulate, heat and ventilate. Lighting's probably the next best thing. Double glazing is probably not far behind that, but it's about a cost benefit of all those things. As you're aware, the cost of double glazing is quite substantial still in the marketplace. Triple glazing is now also available. It is mandatory within the building code to deliver double glazing in new builds. So it's about where the national benefit is, but certainly there is leakage out of windows, but thermal curtains also provide a solution for that as well, and we've established a number of curtain banks around the country for low decile communities to get access to free curtains.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Very clear presentation. Okay, Hawke's Bay Rescue Helicopter Trust.
Good morning.
Yes, there you go.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and councillors, and thank you for the opportunity to come and speak to you. My name is Ian Wilmot. I'm the General Manager of the Rescue Helicopter Trust. Our proposal, or our submission, is for the council to support the Rescue Helicopter Trust with a annual donation of $10,000 as a 3-year commitment. Just by way of a little bit of background, the council has been a tremendous supporter of the rescue helicopter over the years, particularly back in 2010 when the new helicopter was acquired. There, the council gave us $100,000 for a capital fit out of the rescue helicopter, which was very much appreciated. Council also contributed a couple of years ago to a collective fund to purchase a fire bucket. So we do have a firefighting capacity, and the council contributed to the purchase of the fire bucket. In 2010, council made a 3-year commitment to come on board as a platinum sponsor at $10,000 a year. I think the papers that have been put out said that expired in June 2014. My notes say it was June 2013, but that's by the by. The purpose today is to ask you to reinstate that $10,000 platinum sponsorship commitment for a further 3 years. Just very briefly, to throw some numbers around, the helicopter costs about $2.4 million a year to operate. We recover about half of that in revenue for charging fees for service. If we're doing work for ACC, DHB, etc., we invoice about $1.2 million a year there, meaning we have to then fundraise $1.2 million a year of operating costs. So the $10,000 that we're asking for will go towards the operating costs. We see a really good fit with the regional council there, because the area that the council covers is basically the area that we cover in terms of rescue services there. So, particularly when I look at the map here on the wall behind there, that's exactly where we go. So there's a really good fit between what we do and what the area council covers. So you have a lot of staff, you have a lot of contractors out in those areas there. Hopefully they don't need us one day, but certainly we are there if required. Happy to take questions.
Thank you, Mr. Wilmot. Okay, any questions? Perhaps I could start one, Mr. Drury. That amount is still in our budget, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's been there for the last 3 years, and it is still intact in the 14-15 budget.
It is still sitting in the 14-15 budget?
But
okay.
Later on, Mr. Chairman, it'll be up on the board as one of the options.
Sure, okay. Further questions? Councillor Belford.
Is the total contribution from councils, could I just infer it might be 50,000? I mean, take 5 different councils in the Bay area. Are they all contributing?
No. We struggle to get money out of Wairau Council. CHB have been a supporter for us. We don't get much out of Napier. Hastings Council funds our annual newsletters. Yeah.
Councillor Scott.
Mr. Chairman, this has been something that this council has supported for a number of years on the grounds that it's a service that we may need to use because of our field staff. It just is a matter of interest. Have we ever called upon that?
I couldn't tell you specifically.
No, we haven't, but I guess it's a level of insurance.
Yes.
Just them.
We did once for one of the land management officers.
Yes,
we did.
Yes, I know that we picked up some people out at the Ruataniwha Dam site too about 6 months ago. Yeah. Some people are out there inspecting. A lady, yeah.
Councillor Graham.
Mr. Chair, I don't know what's appropriate here and what's not. This is my first time, but I just want to say to you guys, well done. You're absolutely fantastic. I don't know what, as a region, we would do without you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. No further questions? Everyone's happy? You're all good? Sorry, Councillor Hewitt.
I have one for you. Can you please tell us what is appropriate? Because I'd endorse what Councillor Graham's just said, but, I mean, can you give us a feel? Are we able to thank the speakers, or is it questions only? How does this work?
Certainly can thank the speakers, but you certainly can't be derogatory in any way.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what...
I'm sure that's not where you were heading with that. But
all right, so we can pass a comment. Yes. Well, yes. Central Hawke's Bay, fantastic to see you down there.
Thank you.
We are a little bit staid at the start of the day, you did right.
You warm up later.
We're warming up. Okay, no further questions. Thank you, Mr. Warren.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Righto.
Tessa's already here from Film Hawke's Bay. I know we're running ahead of schedule, but she's here.
Okay, we are ahead of schedule. Film Hawke's Bay Trust, are they happy to go now? Oh, hello.
Yeah, Tessa.
Number 5.
Page 11, councillors, of your agenda.
Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. It was Amanda Dawson who's on your paper to speak today, but unfortunately Amanda can't make it today. So it's me. For those who I haven't met before, my name is Tessa Tiley, and I have been one of the instigators and have been involved with Film Hawke's Bay since inception about 5-6 years ago. We are, for those who haven't been involved before as well, we are what is called a regional film office. There are 6 in the country, and Auckland, Wellington, Queenstown combined with Dunedin bring in tens of millions of dollars of screen production into their regions. Hawke's Bay is by far the smallest, and we would like to see this grow considerably, because we believe, along with the Hastings District Council, who have invested in Film Hawke's Bay since the word go, that there is an economy here that can grow through screen production. We have wonderful locations, we have wonderful sites of all different nature. They aren't tourism facilities. They could be an old hay barn, a beach, whatever. The reason that we've come to the Regional Council is because my understanding is that the Hawke's Bay Regional Council promotes, supports and invests in economic growth in the region, and that's what Film Hawke's Bay is doing or attempting to do. I want to give an example. At the end of last year, in November last year, we were contacted by a production company in Melbourne who had been asked to make a series of commercials for OPSM, you know, the spectacle people. And they were coming into this region to do it. Could we help? We said yes. So we first of all started helping them. Basically, we are there to assist and make it happen for them. We can't charge for our services, which is under international protocol. And so we will do whatever is reasonable to make that production happen here, so that they employ local people and they use local facilities. So OPSM first of all started off with a talent scout, a couple of talent scouts coming here. Then they had a location scout here for a couple of weeks searching around. And then they had a pre-production recce for 5 people here for a week staying at the Dome, which gave me the indication that, you know, there's still a lot of money in advertising. And then they came back for about 10 days. 15 of them came back and they stayed at Tupania and they shot stuff all around Hawke's Bay. You can see it it's actually on TV at the moment, and it's also on their website, using people from around the Bay. So if you work out that level of investment, it's in the tens of thousands of dollars. That's just one commercial that basically came and went without anyone knowing, no fanfare, whatever. We would like to see that as a continuous thing happening in the Bay. What we plan to do, we're asking Regional Council for $10,000, we're asking the Napier City Council and the Hastings District Council for $25,000, so that we have a total budget of $60,000. At the moment we have 10, which means we exist and that's it. And you might wonder why we just carry on with $10,000. Kevin Jennings, who runs Film Queenstown, which is hugely successful, one day in one of my lower quiet moments last year, I said to him, I don't know about this. He said, whatever you do, Tessa, never let Film Hawke's Bay go away. It's a presence. It's a regional presence in the country, because these regional film officers work together to bring international productions in here. And so if someone contacts Queenstown and they say, actually, we're not the suitable place, he knows he can go to Hawke's Bay and say, there's someone there and we can make it happen here. So $10,000, we can continue to exist. $60,000, we can grow and develop. We want to bring location scouts here and show them what Hawke's Bay is. We want to advertise in the, I suppose it's the Bible for film people. It's called On Film. And generally market ourselves around. So we would like to see the Regional Council invest in this entity. Any questions?
Thank you. Okay, questions. Councillor Hewitt, did you...
Morning, Tessa.
Hi.
I'm just wondering, can you tell me how you work in with Tourism Hawke's Bay?
After our last year's submission, we were asked to approach Hawke's Bay Tourism and also Business Hawke's Bay Over the years, I have attempted to contact both those entities, including Hawke's Bay Tourism last year, with no luck. We would love to, yep.
Just supplementary to that, with no luck meaning...
no reply.
Oh, no reply.
No reply.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Scott.
It's just a couple of questions around the funding, if I may, and thank you very much for your submission, Ms. Talia. Missed the visuals that you gave us last plan, which were quite spectacular. You have approached a number of councils, but you are approaching a double dipping. Have you considered the effect on ratepayer when you're asking the same ratepayers to pay twice?
Double dipping?
Well, all the Napier, you've gone to Napier City, you've told us, and to Hastings District, all of those are regional council ratepayers.
Yeah.
So have you considered either just targeting the territorial authorities or the regional
council totally,
rather than twice over?
I think asking $10,000 out of the ratepayers of Napier and then a 25, so let's say that's $35,000 for the ratepayers of Napier isn't very much to be asking.
And my second question is, you've outlined one extremely successful bite that you got with the is it OPSM?
Mm-hmm.
How much do the businesses contribute to your funding?
At this stage, none.
And have you got a mechanism for being able to charge those people who are benefiting?
At this stage, no. We would, as I said, we've just had $10,000 to keep going, so we just exist. We would like to bring in sponsorship from private enterprise. One of the reasons that we've brought Amanda Dawson, who is supposed to speak today, on board is to investigate that further.
Thank you. Councillor Pike.
Yeah, just a couple of questions, Tessa. Firstly, the Great Food Race, which was filmed, some of the series was filmed here. How much did you have to do with that? And I've heard that Hawke's Bay Tourism also had something to do with that as well.
We didn't have very much to do with that at all, but one of the things that we do is that we understand the industry completely, and when they emailed Hawke's Bay Tourism and ourselves to say we want to find locations and how can we get them and how can we get permission, I immediately replied and gave suggestions of locations and permissions for them, and they acted on that.
So specialist knowledge, you have specialist knowledge in that area?
We've got specialist knowledge of known locations, and also we've got a complete understanding of, with the screen industry, when they ask for something, you don't leave it a day. You know, that's you've lost them, basically. Yeah. The
second question that I would like to ask is, what would you do with the extra money if you had that 65,000 from 10 to 65,000? How would you use that money?
In the budget, you'll see that we one of the things that we want to do is have 3 location scout trips here at the cost of $12,000. They're $4,000 each. We bring them down. We believe that the best way to show people is that you can say to them, come to Hawke's Bay. They go, yeah. But until they've actually seen it, they don't know. We've had one of these in the past and it was hugely successful. We would like to do that. We would like to advertise in the On Film magazine, and we would like to have some money to be able to go and get further funding, actually, and sponsorship, which Councillor Scott was referring to.
Thank you. Last question, Councillor Dick.
Yes, thanks. What was the nature of your unsuccessful approach to Business Hawke's Bay and Hawke's Bay Tourism?
I wanted to meet with them to talk about further how we could work together.
Okay. What did you phone or email?
Emailed several times.
With no response at all?
With absolutely no response. Yep.
Not very good.
It's not very good. Okay. Hey, thank you very much, Ms. Tyler. And we will consider your proposal in due course throughout the hearing. So thank you. Okay, Mr. Payne. Jared Payne. Good. Welcome, sir.